The 90-minute rule, focus like a laser. It's 5 a.m., the house is quiet, my kids are still asleep, and this is my golden window of time. I'll pour a cup of coffee, sit down at my desk, and put my noise-canceling headphones on. Endo is playing in the background, and I'm just locked in. But instead of checking emails or scrolling on social media, I do something a little weird. I set a timer for 90 minutes, and I jump straight into my most mentally demanding task. No distractions allowed. So why? Because our brain naturally functions in 90-minute cycles. During these cycles, your brain hits peak alertness, creativity, and focus. Top performers, chess grandmasters, Olympic athletes, even elite students swear by this rhythm. And as a single dad, this is how I get real work done before the chaos of the day begins. Instead of grinding for 6 hours straight and feeling fried, I work in 90-minute chunks followed by a 15-minute break. And the result? I get more done by mid-morning than I used to in the entire day. And my brain feels like it's firing on all cylinders. The morning walk, a brain bath in motion. After my 90-minute session, I find a reason to go outside. One of the best ways I've done this is just taking my kids to the bus stop. We walk around, waiting for the bus, exploring nature, and just chatting it up. No headphones, no phones, just being present. Here's the science. When you walk outside, especially in nature, your brain goes into what's called the default mode network. It's the same network that lights up when you're daydreaming or brainstorming ideas. But there's more to it than that. Walking increases blood flow into your brain, reduces stress hormones, and even boosts the size of your hippocampus, the memory center of your brain. For me, these walks aren't just exercise. They're also moments to connect with my kids and give my brain a reset before diving back into work. It's like giving my mind a full body massage. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman recommends getting morning sunlight outside to anchor your cycle and support brain health. Tim Cook for Apple even takes walking meetings to think through complex problems. Turn out movement is intelligence in motion. Brain food, fuel isn't what you think. Here's the thing, I actually fast until dinner. No big lunches, no heavy meals in the middle of the day. Instead, I fuel my brain with what keeps me sharp and steady. LMNT salt water, AG1 greens, a scoop of whey protein and creatine, and later on my multi-supplements. So why? Because what you put in your body directly shapes how your brain performs. Hydration, electrolytes, clean fuel. They keep energy stable without the crash that comes from heavy meals. And when I finally eat dinner, I'm very intentional about it. No screens, no endless scrolling, just sitting down, eating mindfully, and letting my brain and my body reset. It's very easy to just grab whatever's quick. But I've learned that being deliberate with fuel gives me more clarity, better focus, and more patience with my kids. Digital fast, taming the dopamine demon. After I pick up my kids from school, I do something most people avoid. I disconnect. No phone, no social media, no notification. So here's why. Every ping, buzz, or like gives your brain a little hit of dopamine. It feels good at first, but too much too often creates a vicious cycle. Less focus, more craving. A brain constantly hunting for its next hit instead of settling into deep thought. This time is sacred. When I'm glued to my phone, I'm not really present with my kids. And when I'm not present, I feel it later in their mood and in mine. By creating tech-free zones, I'm rewiring my brain to enjoy stillness. That stillness is where deep thinking, problem solving, and long-term memories are built. It's like turning down the noise so you can finally listen to the music. The curiosity hour, feeding the inner child. After dinner, I dive into something I'm genuinely curious about. Not self-help, not productivity hacks, just pure curiosity. And why? Because curiosity triggers the brain reward system. It lights up the same area that responds to chocolate and money. When you're curious, your brain actually remembers better. Even unrelated information you learn at the time sticks. Sometimes that looks like reading a book, learning a new skill, or working on my business and content. Other nights, it's just simply playing with my kids. Hide and seek, reading them a story, drawing, creating craft together. The point isn't what I do, it's that curiosity that keeps the mind alive, playful, and open. Curiosity is mental cardio. It helps your brain stretches, learn, and stay young. You don't stop learning because you get old. You get old because you stop learning. The cold shower, a shock that wakes you up. Around 9 p.m. in the evening, I take a shower, but I keep it cold. And yeah, it is rough and it's not fun at first, but here's why I do it. Cold water wakes up your brain fast. It makes you alert, sharp, and even boosts your mood. It's like flipping a switch inside your head. It also teaches you how to handle being uncomfortable. If you stand in the cold for a minute or two, you can handle tough stuff in a daily life a lot easier. And when I step out, I feel charged up, like my brain just got hit with fresh energy. The sleep difference, where real growth happens. By 10 p.m. at night, I'm already winding down. No screens, no scrolling, no just one more video. I keep the lights dim. Maybe I read a little. Maybe I jot down a few thoughts in a journal. But mostly, I let my brain know it's time to rest. Because sleep isn't just about getting rest. It's when your brain does its best work behind the scenes. While you're out cold, your brain is cleaning itself out, getting rid of all the mental junk you picked up during the day. It's locking in the stuff you learned, filing away memories, and even building new brain connection. Literally, your brain is rewiring itself while you sleep. If you skip a good sleep, all that brain power you built up during the day starts to break down. You feel foggy, you forget things, you get moody, and even worse, your ability to focus, stay calm, and think clearly starts to slip. That's why I treat sleep like it's sacred. I aim between 7 to 9 hours every night. No excuses. No, I'm gonna catch up on the weekend, because I learned the hard way. Your brain needs sleep to grow. Miss it and you miss the upgrade. Light movement that doesn't break you. By around 7 in the evening, my day has already been full. Work, responsibility, picking up the kids, making sure homework's done, cooking, cleaning, and everything in between. So at this point, I'm not heading into the gym to destroy my body with heavy weights. That would just leave me drained and less present for my kids. Instead, I keep it light, stretching on the living room floor, some dynamic stretching, or a slow walk with the kids, just enjoying the time together. And here's why I stick with light movement. It wakes my brain up without burning me out. When you move like this, your body releases chemical that helps your brain grow and stay sharp. It clears mental fog, it lowers stress, and it puts me in a better mood to end the night on a good note. A lot of people think you only get benefits from going hard, lifting heavy, sweating buckets, or running miles. But I learned that the slower, more intentional stuff can actually supercharge your brain without wrecking your body. This is the balance I need. It keeps my brain clear and my stress down, while still giving me the energy to play with my kids before bed or read them a story. I'm not chasing abs at this point in my life. I'm chasing mental clarity, patience, and the ability to show up as the best version of myself for my kids. And this kind of light movement delivers every time. The One Problem Journal, training your brain to solve, not stress. Before bed, I'll open my journal. I don't try to force gratitude lists or long reflections. Instead, I keep it simple. I write down one problem I didn't solve yet. It would be a work challenge. It could be a tough decision about money. Sometimes it's parenting. Maybe I felt like I didn't handle something well with the kids, and I'm still unsure about the best approach. I don't try to solve it right there. I just outline it, write it down clearly, and then close the journal. Here's the crazy part. Your brain keeps working on it while you sleep. There's a process where the brain continues looking for answers even when you're unconscious. And more often than not, the next day, the solution just shows up when I'm driving, showering, or walking the kids to the bus stop. This little nightly habit changes the way my brain responds to problems. Instead of carrying the stress, I train my body to let go, to treat problems like puzzles instead of disasters. And over time, it builds a kind of confidence. Because when you teach your brain to keep solving, you stop panicking. You start trusting that answers will come. And that shift alone is absolutely powerful. Vision reminder, dopamine with direction. Every morning before I get into work, I open my journal app. And the first thing that pops up is my vision board. It's not a long checklist. It's not a wall of tasks. It's just the big picture, the goals and futures I'm working towards. Here's why that matters. Your brain runs on dopamine, the chemical that makes you chase rewards. If you don't point it at the right things, it gets hooked on the wrong stuff. Scrolling, likes, short-term wins that feel good for 5 seconds but do nothing for your future. When I see my vision board every morning, it reminds me why the daily grind matters. Even the little steps, making content, working on my business, showing up for my kids, they all connect to something bigger. And over time, this changes the way my brain works. Effort doesn't feel like wasted energy anymore. It feels like progress. It rewires me to enjoy the process, not just the result. When your brain starts treating the grind like a win, staying consistent becomes second nature. The mental load dump, clearing the mental clutter. By about 9:30 at night, my mind is usually buzzing. Groceries I need to pick up, things I forgot to do, ideas for the business, random worries about bills or what's coming up tomorrow. If I carry all that into bed, I don't really sleep. My brain just keeps spinning. So instead, I grab my journal app and I dump it all out. Every single thought, big, small, messy, or organized, I do not filter. I just unload. Here's why it works. Your brain isn't built to hold all these dang tasks. It's built to solve them. When you keep all those to-dos in your head, it burns energy and it creates background anxiety. The brain essentially stays on high alert when something feels unfinished. By writing everything down, I trick my brain into thinking the loop is closed. I can't let go because I know it's captured and waiting for me tomorrow. And the result? Deeper sleep, less stress, and I wake up feeling lighter with space to think clearly. Before I dive into focused work in the afternoon, I give my brain a quick warm-up. I set a 5-minute timer and I pick one random question I don't know the answer to. Like why my kids are so obsessed with capybaras. What do scientists actually say about the origins of life? Could aliens really exist out there? And it doesn't matter what the question is. The point is to spark curiosity. When you do this, your brain is shifting into learning mode. It stretches the way it thinks, like loosening up muscles before a workout. That little burst of curiosity helps with flexible thinking, creativity, and problem solving later in the day. And here's the cool part. When you're curious, your brain hangs on to that information even better. Even stuff that's not related to the thing you're actually curious about, it's like curiosity opens a door in your mind and everything else you learn around that slips in more easily. This quick practice reminds me of something simple but powerful. Being smart isn't about knowing everything, it's about staying interested. Silent morning, cognitive warm-up in silence. When I wake up at 5 a.m., the house is completely silent. No talking, no phone, no noise at all. And honestly, that silence is calming. And it gives me space to think, to focus, to breathe. Most people fill their mornings with noise right away. Music, news, social media. But in those early hours, the brain is still warming up. That quiet place lets it wake up more naturally. And in that silence, ideas come easier. Problems don't feel as heavy. I can line up my thoughts instead of letting them scatter everywhere. It's not about doing nothing. It's about giving the brain room to breathe before the chaos of the day starts. So for me, silence at 5 a.m. doesn't feel empty. It feels like I'm already ahead. Clear, calm, and ready. The teach back trick, turning memory into mastery. Every evening, I pick one thing I learned that day. It could be from a book, a podcast, something online, or even a random facts my kids threw at me. Then I explain it out loud, like I'm teaching it. Sometimes I even teach ChatGPT. I talk to it as if I'm the teacher. I try to break it down into simple words and then I ask, do you understand what I'm saying? That process helps me learn faster. Here's why this works. Reading something isn't the same as learning it. You can take it in, but it slips away very fast. But when you explain it, especially in your own words, your brain has to really get it. It has to organize the information, simplify it, and connect it to what you already know. This is what makes the technique so powerful. It forces your brain to move knowledge from just read it into I actually understand this. And the best part, it only takes a few minutes. But over time, it turns information into intuition. You stop being just a consumer of knowledge and start mastering it. Daily win, rewiring your brain for progress. Right before I go to sleep, I ask myself one simple question. What's one thing I did today that moved me forward? Not did I just finish everything? Not did I crush my whole to-do list? Just one thing. And here's the reason I do this. Most people go to bed replaying all the stuff they didn't do, the things they messed up, the things they still have hanging over their head. That puts the brain into a negative loop right before sleep. But when you end the day by recognizing even a small win, it changes the whole story. Your brain starts associating effort with progress instead of failure. Sometimes my win is big, like finishing a video or making real progress on my business. Other times it's just small, like having a meaningful conversation with my kids or finally taking care of something I've been putting off. It doesn't matter how big it is. The point is to notice progress. And when you notice it, your brain craves more of it. Over time, this builds momentum. Instead of going to bed frustrated, I'll go to bed with a sense of forward motion. And that momentum makes it easier to show up the next day. The Iron Mindset workout, building grit through strength. A couple of times a week, I make time for strength training. I don't have a big fancy setup. Like, I just have a simple bench press at home with 225 dumbbells. And that's it. And honestly, that's all you really need to exercise at home. And sure, a gym is great if you can make it, but for me, time is limited and it's more convenient to train at home. I can't squeeze it in around my schedule without leaving the house. And here's the key. I don't do it just for muscle. I do it for the mental toughness, because every time I push through one more rep, even when it's hard, I'm teaching my brain that discomfort is growth. The science backs this up too. Strength training boosts confidence, it sharpens focus, and it even helps your brain repair itself. But for me, the real win is discipline. This small home workout setup trains more than my body. It trains grit, and that mindset carries into everything in life. Meditation, where thoughts go to be quiet. Each morning before I touch my phone, I sit down on the floor. No apps, no special music, no complicated routine. My favorite type of meditation is as simple as it gets. Just breathing through the nose, in and out. I focus only on the air coming in and the air going out. 5 minutes, that's it. And of course, thoughts pop up. That's natural. I think about work, I think about the kids, I think about the day ahead, but I don't chase the thoughts. I just bring my attention back to the breath over and over. That's the whole point. Meditation isn't about having no thoughts. It's about practicing focus, noticing when your mind drifts and gently bring it back. And here's the benefit. This tiny habit makes me calmer, more focused, and less reactive during the day. It's like giving my brain a reset before the chaos starts. I think of it like a mental hygiene. Just as brushing your teeth cleans your mouth, this clears your mind. Gratitude journaling, ending the day with light. By about 9:30 at night, I'm shutting down everything. Screens off, lights low, time to get ready for bed. Before I sleep, I open my journal app and I write down 3 things I am grateful for. Some days it's something big, like making progress on my business or having a breakthrough idea. Other days it's small, like having a good cup of coffee or fresh air on my walk, or just laughing with my kids while we play. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is to notice, and here's why it works. Most people fall asleep, think about what went wrong or what they didn't finish. That builds stress. And when I end the day with gratitude, I go to bed lighter. I fall asleep with a sense of peace instead of pressure. And over time, this trains my brain to see the good first. And when you do that consistently, even the little wins give you momentum to keep going. Napping, power nap for the brain. Sometimes after lunch, usually between 1 or 2 in the afternoon, my energy dips. Most people just push through it, load up on more caffeine, scroll on their phone, and just grind through the slump. But instead of forcing it, I take a power nap. I set a 20-minute timer, lay down, close my eyes, and just rest. No alarm blaring, no distraction, just 20 minutes to let my brain recharge. A nap isn't about being lazy. When done right, it actually makes you sharper. It helps with memory, focus, and even emotional balance. I wake up feeling lighter and more refreshed. Not groggy, not drained, just ready to go again. It's like giving your brain a pit stop in the middle of the race. And for me, with so much to juggle between work, kids, and everything else, that short reset makes the difference between dragging through the rest of the day or actually finishing strong. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do isn't to push harder, it's to rest smarter. Social interaction, brain chemistry through connection. No matter how busy the day gets, I make space for at least one real human connection. No texting, no quick replies, no scrolling through feeds, actual connection. Sometimes that's being fully present with my kids. We're playing, talking, or just listening to them at dinner. Other time it's catching up with friends. And once a week, I meet online with other single dads face to face. We share challenges, goals, and what we're learning. Since we're all on the same path, those conversations hit different. It feels good knowing that I'm not alone, and it's powerful to talk with like-minded people who actually get it. When you connect in a real way, your brain releases the bonding chemical. It lowers stress, boosts mood, and even makes you think clearer. But beyond the science, connection is what keeps me grounded. It resets my energy. It reminds me I'm not just working, grinding, or parenting on my own island. Even 10 minutes of true connection can shift the whole day. And these weekly calls, they become one of my favorite anchors. Sunlight exposure, lighting up the brain naturally. So every morning, within about 30 minutes of waking up, I try to get light. Ideally, it would be sunlight on my face outside, but with my kids, I can't just walk outside the door first thing in the morning. So instead, I flip on as many lights in the apartment as possible. It's not quite the same as sunlight, but it still tells my brain, wake up, it's daytime. Here's why it matters. Light in the morning boosts serotonin, which lifts your mood. And it helps your body know when to release melatonin later on at night, so sleep comes easier. If I can step outside, like when I take my kids to the bus stop, I do. Even 5 minutes makes a difference. But if not, flooding the apartment with light is the next best thing. Either way, I notice the difference. I feel more awake, more grounded, and even in a better mood to start the day. And when bedtime comes, sleep feels deeper and more natural. Light is one of the simplest tools for your brain, but most people overlook it. Start your day with light and you set yourself up to run better all day long. These are the habits that have completely changed how my brain works day to day. They're simple, but when you stack them together, the effect is powerful. The 90-minute work session, the walks, eating with intention, taking breaks from screens, cold showers, sleep, gratitude, connection. I don't do them perfectly every day because life gets busy. The kids need me. Plans shift all the time. But even when I only hit a few of these habits, I feel the difference. My focus is sharper, my mood is better, and I show up with more patience and energy. Not just for work, but for my kids too. If you already do some of these, keep going. If not, pick one and try it this week. You might be surprised at how much lighter and clearer and sharper your brain feels. And hey, if this video gave you even one idea to work with, do me a favor, tap the like button. It helps more people see this kind of content and lets me know you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.